Joining us now on the MARR Rock Show. Very glad to have We Love the Underground back on the show. Baltimore's a great music scene, and these guys are a big part of it. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Oh, it's always good to talk to you guys. And so, man, this is pretty cool. You guys have a big announcement coming out about not only an album, but a novel that's coming out. So go ahead and fill us in on this thing.
Basically what happened was about a year and a half ago, I was laid off from my job, and this is Brad Cox from We Love the Underground, and I have a bachelor's in journalism, and I really wanted to do something with that. I'm always writing blogs and, just kind of fun statuses on Facebook, and then kind of got people challenging me like, why don't you write a book? And I thought to myself, I don't know, maybe I should write a book. So I sat down and tried to do it, and the first couple attempts were absolutely atrocious. I got to about like 5,000 words, and I'm like, okay. So I went on the, Google, and I'm like, okay, so how many words is a novel? And I found out it was 80. I'm like, okay, so this is going to be quite an undertaking. Ended up just putting about 2 hours a night into it for about 4 months, and then I finished like the rough draft, sat it down for about 3 months, came back and edited it for 3 months, and then I turned it over to another editor at the Baltimore Sun, and so now we're just kind of waiting.
Well, that's an amazing story. A lot of bands have not done this. The last person I truthfully remember really doing this was Nikki Sixx, who's a pretty good shoot to follow in when he did the Heroin Diaries. So listen a little bit, like, for what you can tell us about what the novel might be about. And then you don't want to give the whole thing away, but give us a little a glimpse into it.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much away, but it's more of a fictional book than, say, Heroin Diaries. That's what that's supposed to be, I assume, based on his life.
Yeah.
This book is, the main character is based on my life, but there's a whole fictional story that's kind of around it. A lot of characters, a lot of countries involved. It's kind of an epic novel.
Now, I'm going to release a little bit of it because I was following or researching. You said nothing I'm telling you isn't out there publicly, but so what is the relationship of Cadence of the Sun to the novel and or the band or the music?
Cadence of the Sun is a group that's within the, it's in the book. It's a group that's in the book, and that song is about them.
Now, I won't probe much more than this, but I'm just so interested to learn more about it. There were some cool lyrics in that song. Dear God, arrest my soul, I sold it all for rock and roll. So are we going to learn a lot about music in the book? Is it a book about music?
No, you're going to learn a lot about my personal life, but it's also going to be intertwined with maybe a lot of rock and roll themes that are a little bit, common.
So what else have you guys been up to, man? I saw, until you contacted me for this interview, I didn't realize that our buddy Joe Ruggiero had been in the band. Tell us how that came to be.
Aha, well, he unfortunately is not here tonight, but this is Eric from We Love the Underground, but Brad...
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Good to see you again, or talk to you again.
Had played with Joe in Schizo for a while, so that was his connection to the band, and he's been working out just fine so far.
So give us a little bit of the musical, so we got a little bit of the idea about the novel. Tell me musically about what the EP is going to be like. Is it going to be similar to what we've heard from the band, or is it going to be a little bit of a departure?
This is Patrick from the band. I'd say it's similar, but it's definitely a lot of departures. I think the first two albums were so much influence of Brad because he wrote a lot of it and recorded it all himself with Gary and some other people. And this album has all of us on it, and we've all thrown our own personal taste into it and brought our own ideas to each other, and I think really perfected what we were working with for each tune. And it's really going to be something different than anything I think that's out there now, and something different than anything that We Love the Underground has done before, for sure.
Now, when I talk to you guys, when I try to describe your band to folks, I have a hard time doing it because in some ways you remind me of like an 80s punk band, in other ways you got a little bit of metal. And talk about the style of your band to people that have never heard you before. How do you describe yourself?
Hey, this is Gary with We Love the Underground, and So our band is definitely an eclectic style of all those different things that you mentioned. I think one of the things that's really great is that we all really come from different backgrounds musically. Brad and myself obviously have been playing together for a long time and have a very rock and roll kind of a background. Love, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, bands from the 80s, stuff like that. And these other guys too, but when Pat and Eric joined, they brought a lot of very classically trained musicianship to the band, which has been awesome because we've really integrated a lot of new things into our writing process. There's a lot more progressive sound now than there was before. And when you take that and kind of couple it with some of the just straight-ahead rock and roll, it's really become a different sound that we're really proud of, and we think it's going to kind of push the envelope, and it has really pushed the envelope of what we're capable of as musicians and as songwriters. So it's exciting, and I think some of the stuff we have coming down the pike, even after this album comes out, is even going to be more challenging for us and more cool for the audience to hear.
Now, I can't ask for much more than an EP and a book coming out at the same time, but let's go ahead and ask anyway. Is there any hope? Is there going to be any kind of video or movie kind of stuff that's going to go alongside of the book and the music that's coming out?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of hopes in filming a video. We've looked into it. We've been working with a couple different people who have an interest in doing it for us, and this is eventually going to be a full-length album. We have a ton of material written. It's just a matter of really putting it all together, getting in the studio, putting the time and the money in place, and getting it all recorded. But we have a ton of material coming out, and eventually, yes, there will be our first music video coming out for at least one song.
Now, hey man, Baltimore lost a big thing recently in Noise in the Basement. I saw that you guys had a little something to do with the final Noise in the Basement. And for folks who don't know, that was a classic. I don't want to call it underground, but it was a venue for people to kind of, in the Baltimore music scene, get recognized. Tell me about that final Noise in the Basement.
Yeah, that was a really awesome experience. So Matt Davis had been doing Noise in the Basement since I think it was 1997.
Wow.
And, they started the live shows in 2004, and Brad and I back in Schizo Calypso had a chance to be a part of that from the very beginning of that all the way up through the very end of it, which was this past Monday. And what they do is they had done what are called these all-star jams, and they've done them periodically over the last few years where they invite different musicians from all of the different local bands that are sort of kind of doing things at that current point in time. And they get up there, different bands play together and play different kinds of cover songs. And so for this one, they really did it up. There was probably about, I'd say almost close to 30 or 40 different combinations of musicians forming different bands. And
wow.
I actually had the privilege of playing with a lot of great musicians, and we did a cover of Bohemian Rhapsody. Actually, Tony Corelli, who's one of the the guy that records all of our albums. He does a lot of the recordings around here from the Deep.
Oh yeah, we know Tony well.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He actually had asked me to kind of sit in and fill in for that song, and the song was great. But I just say, being there, really watching the whole night was amazing because there was so many faces that you could remember, from people you've met recently to people you met 10, 12, 15 years ago, and everybody kind of came out in support of Matt that night, in support of the whole event, and it was just awesome, and they really sent it out in a great way. I think that chapter closed for Noise in the Basement, but there's a lot of talk that there's going to be at least a couple more things coming down the pike, and hopefully at least another radio show. But I think it'll be a really great chance to kind of reset and kind of start that over again and promote it in a new way.
Yeah, and there's so many great things going on in the Baltimore music scene. I mentioned when I learned that Joe was part of your band, just like all the bands that you all have been a part of, and seeing the bands that came together, that's kind of the Baltimore music scene, man. In some ways it's a revolving door, but in other ways it's a family. Have you guys felt like kind of a family atmosphere in the Baltimore music scene?
Definitely, for sure. With playing for the past year and a half, we've really been able to network very effectively, and the Baltimore music scene, I would say, is definitely a family, and we all have each other's backs, and it's been a great experience so far. And in terms of Noise, We Love the Underground got the opportunity to play Noise in the Basement in January, and growing up, that had always been a big goal of mine to actually play Noise in the Basement. So I'm really glad we got the opportunity before it came to an end, unfortunately.
So what does the rest of the year have planned for you guys? So the book and the album's going to come out soon. Do we expect that live gigs are going to follow shortly after that?
Yeah, everything's kind of on hold until I guess right now what I'm personally waiting for is to get the book back. At that point, we'll have a little bit of better idea of the timetable. So we don't really want to book anything just yet because it could actually all be happening very soon, like within a month. So we're looking for late September to have like a dual release of some sort somewhere. And then from there, we're going to be just like tearing it up with the shows. And we also have this other little project that's going to be following the book and the album. So we have a lot on our plate. A lot of it's written, ready to go. It's just a matter of getting it out there. So it's going to be really exciting. The next month and a half is going to be huge for us.
Well, hey, man, stay in touch with us here at the Marmy Rock Show. We want to keep talking to you guys, and we've always loved having you as guests on the show. And one last question: is everything on the all the soundtracks of the book? Is it all original new stuff, or is there anything on there that maybe we have heard before?
That is kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you've been following Facebook, we did kind of put some teasers out there along the way, which we've made a pretty good point to take off all the different sites. So maybe 2 or 3 songs were kind of tested along the way, and then we took them all down. So, I mean, if you're really paying attention, you might have heard a song here and there, but for the most part, it's all going to be original new music, and it should be a really nice surprise because there's a lot of different genres. We worked on this for about a year and a half, and it goes from, I mean, you got classical, you got industrial, there's punk, there's metal, rock and roll, so it's definitely a melting pot.
Hey, man, it's one of the things I love about your band. So the band is We Love the Underground, everybody. They are from Baltimore, Maryland. An album and a novel coming out real soon. You go on Facebook, like those guys, follow them. And, hey, We Love the Underground. Guys, it's always great talking to you. I always love running into you at various places. And good luck with the book and the EP release.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.